Hey everybody, Lorelia here and coming to you with a video that I've been wanting to do a video on this since it came across um my should I say desk. And what do I mean by that? Trying to put this phone somewhere where it's comfortable. Um, so I titled this video Real Estate Notes, Bankruptcy, and Understanding Debt. And the reason why I'm doing a video on this topic, I'm going to share a story with you. But before I go into that story, um, next month, actually in 2 weeks, um, I will be going to a real estate note conference out in California. And it's basically a seminar where a lot of the major and minor players are that buy real estate notes. Like, this is not how to get started with the real estate note business. These are people who are actively buying real estate notes. And I went to the seminar here in New Jersey back in September. And when I was there, they talked about um, the event that's in March, which I'll be going to. And so one may wonder, well, why are you doing a YouTube live about some event you're going to? And the reason why is because I can't stress enough the importance of people understanding the game of the economics in this country. And I know a lot of people may think what I'm saying is cliche, it's common, you've heard it before, but a lot of people just truly don't know the rules of the game. And so let me share this story with you. Someone that I know, not a client, but someone that I know, um, and recently filed bankruptcy. And if you're wondering, oh, why are you telling their business? They understand what I do. They know that I, do YouTube videos, and I kind of, change a little of the information just so their identity is not revealed or what have you. So the person filed bankruptcy, and in the state of New Jersey, it's considered a judicial state. And what does that mean? That means that if you have assets, and the person does have assets, they own a home, the reason why they filed bankruptcy is because they wanted to save their home. And they didn't want it to go into foreclosure. So since New Jersey is a judicial state, you can save your home. Without me going into the legality of how bankruptcy works, because disclaimer, I'm no attorney, but if you understand the laws of the states that you live in, whether you're judicial or non-judicial, in a judicial state, it is favored towards the consumer, and it buys the consumer time to do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, while you're in that Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you have the sale plan, whereas you're working towards getting a home sold, or you're doing the modification plan, whereas the courts will make the mortgage company create a workout plan for you based on your income and the debt that you owe or what have you. And so this person has been making all their payments. They're making it to the trustee in the courts, they're making it to the mortgage company, they're making it to all the other debtors, and of course their attorney, because those are the rules. Well, lo and behold, me and that person was talking, and they said, you know what, Lorelia, my mortgage got sold. Now, the original holder of the mortgage, see, what people don't understand is that when you buy a house, unless you buy the house cash, If you don't buy it cash, most people have to get a mortgage. When you get a mortgage, there is a lien holder who holds the paper on the mortgage. Now, individuals who try to be aware of what's going on economically, in 2009, we were told the banks, had got themselves in a snafu. Whereas the hedge fund companies who had who were the owners of these debt instruments, the mortgage paper, were hedging against it and creating derivatives to make money. So understand this: there is money in debt. There is money in the mortgage paper, not the asset. Because depending on the risk strategy or the risk tolerance of the investor who is holding the note, they're either interested in the asset or they're interested in the paper. And one may wonder, well, Lorraine, why are you telling me this? The reason why I had to give you that backstory, because I want you to understand what I'm going to say to you now. And for some people watching this video, I understand I probably went over your head. Like this story is going to really go over the heads of many people. Some people are going to totally get it, and it's going to awaken them, and they're going to begin to go down the rabbit hole themselves to get clarity on how to win in the game of economics in this country. Now, before I go into that, I'm just gonna, sorry. I am going to put this phone here because I'm sick of holding it. So I know it's probably crooked. So I'm already 7 minutes in. So the story gets good. So the person that I know said to me, Lorelia, my mortgage note got sold. And, Wells Fargo no longer holds the paper on the mortgage, and it's now held by another company, some very small, nondescript company in California. And, and I said, oh, what did your attorney say? And then, attorney was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's nothing to be alarmed by. You continue doing what you're doing. Keep making the payments. Keep making the payments to the trustee. We will get the instructions on where your payment will be sent to for the next coming month, which would be in March. And you proceed as follows. And so I said to that person, I said to them, Wells Fargo said, you know what? We're going to cut our losses here. Now, not losses in the sense of they lost money. Losses in the sense of when a mortgage holder holds a note. If you've been listening to the news recently, in the past couple of years, you may have heard that a lot of the big banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, or what have you, were using robo-signers to foreclose on homes that shouldn't have been foreclosed on. And one may ask, see, what a lot of consumers don't know is that they think that when a house gets foreclosed, that the lender lost. Like that is a very elementary view of how the economic game in this country works. Like, there is big money in debt. So if you're thinking that you stop paying your mortgage, ha 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 ha, mortgage lender, screw you, you're going to lose. They're not going to lose. And so the reason why they don't lose, and this is what I want to share with you all. If your mortgage is a FHA loan, it's insured by the government. So whether you decide to pay it or not, they get paid off by the government. And so that's why a lender who is holding a note for a FHA loan is not going to lose anyway, because the loan is backed by the government. It's insured. They're going to get money for it. So they're not going to lose. But this is where the loss comes in. Remember when I said the homeowner filed bankruptcy to save their home? Their home was going to get foreclosed on. Wells Fargo wanted to go forward and foreclose on it because they knew that if they foreclose on it, they're going to get their money regardless. But see, what happens is they got tied up into the bankruptcy game in a judicial state like New Jersey. And with that being said, they don't know how long this can go, because in judicial states, it's consumer friendly. And so it ties up the process, because now Wells Fargo now has to pay their attorneys to now go back and forth for bankruptcy attorneys. Financially, it don't make sense for them to do it. So what they would rather do is sell that loan. And they're not selling them one by one by one. They're packaging it. So what happens is that loan that friend of mine had, they put that loan in a mortgage pool and sold it. And they sold it to a mortgage company out in California. Now, of course, was it sold at a discount? Of course. It was sold at a discount. It's never sold dollar for dollar. It's just like the stuff that I tell you with the creditors and the debt collectors. Nothing's sold at the premium price. It's sold at a discount. But at the end of the day, they still win. So if they would have foreclosed, and since it was an FHA loan, and if they would have foreclosed, they would have got their money from the government. But since they sold the loan and packaged it with a mortgage pool, they still get their money. So at the end of the day, they're going to win financially. And so that's why I can't bring home enough for individuals to understand the economics of how this country works. Like, they're going to win. And so I say all this to say, one may ask, because the friend of mine asked, well, why would a lender want to buy a note whereas the person was about to face foreclosure, is tied up in bankruptcy? Because this is it, and this is what I learned in the risk in the mortgage note conference I went to in New Jersey back in the fall. This don't come from no YouTube video. This is not rehashed. This is what I learned listening to lenders, companies, hedge fund companies who buy defaulted debt backed by real estate. They understand when they buy these pool of loans that it's a risk. It's a risk. They're in it. They're in the game for risk. They already know, but they also know that it's a numbers game. And this is now the only reason why I knew this part is because I'm in the industry of credit. And I've said this in other videos prior to this. Those who issue you debt, whether they're creditors or what have you, lenders or what have you, they know your buying habits better than you. So they already know that person who is in bankruptcy, this is what they know for a shadow of a doubt. And they said it at the conference. They got no savings. Now, remind you, they paid their mortgage in a judicial state, because there's people who could be tied up in bankruptcy for over 5 years. So here you are, your mortgage payment got modified. Prior to you filing for bankruptcy, you just wasn't paying your mortgage. So since you in a judicial state like a New Jersey or New York, you could have went for 2 years without paying your mortgage. And this is what these lenders said. They ain't got no savings. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul. The likelihood of them keeping up with the payments for bankruptcy is slim to none. Because the thing is that once you get in bankruptcy, this is what a lot of people don't know. Remind you, disclaimer, I'm no attorney. You have to make those payments to the court. See, now you don't have the liberty like you did for 2 or 3 years of not paying your mortgage. Now you got to pay your mortgage. This is the power of habit. A person who creates a habit of not paying their bills on time, of not paying a mortgage, whatever the case may be, this statement is not a statement of condescending. It's a statement based on the behavioral patterns of humans. If you do not build a habit of paying your bills on time, the likelihood of you getting in bankruptcy and thinking you're going to pay your bills on time is slim to none. And so these lenders know this. And that's why they play the game of risk. Because they know that 9 times out of 10, that person, they may do it for a year, they may do it for 18 months. Then they're going to slip up. Because they already know they ain't got no savings. Don't have no disposable income to pull from. So what happens is they miss one payment to the court. If they've read the bankruptcy, package, the petition, they got to make the payments on time. Don't make payments on time, it's a done deal. Now, granted, if you got a good bankruptcy attorney, they can go back towards the judge, and like I said, in a judicial state, finagle the judge some to ask for a little, a little forgiveness. But see, those lenders who buy debt that is defaulted, they're playing the game to win. So when you miss a mortgage payment to the courts based on your bankruptcy petition, they're moving towards foreclosure. And so now one may ask, well, if I stop paying, what, if I stop paying, where they gonna get the money from? Oh, did you forget? Didn't I tell you? It's a FHA insured mortgage. They can get their money from the government. They're gonna win. They're gonna win. So if you're wondering, well, what is all this? What's the purpose of this video? Purpose of this video is for you to understand how this game is played. Now, it may not interest you. It may not interest you. You still may want to go through life and and disregard or whatever. I say this to bring awareness, because every day I'm always working towards being better. And I'm never one who claims to know everything. So I look forward to being in rooms where I know I'm not the smartest cat in the room. And so when I came across this information, it actually it really intrigued me. It interests me because I had nothing. Mortgage notes were nowhere on my radar. And so I say all this to say, who are you surrounded with? Many people want to win financially, but they don't want no change. No change. There's another topic I want to go into, but I'm gonna save that for another video. But they don't want no change. And I recently had one of my online mentors to really hit home the importance of getting in circles where people make more money than you, they're financially better than you, There ain't no doom and gloom, because whether the economy is good, whether the economy is bad, a lot of people are getting caught up on, is the real estate bubble going to tank? Let me share this with you. Money gonna still be moving. Like, ain't nothing, it's no such thing as things gonna just stop. Ain't nobody gonna buy nothing. No homes ain't gonna be sold. No cars ain't gonna be sold. Like, things are still going to happen. They're still gonna happen. But now the thing is that, are you set up financially to win regardless? Whether the economy is good, whether the economy is bad. But this is what I know. If you are around individuals and all they are talking about is doom and gloom, or you're caught up on the Jesse Smollett or whatever, the guy from Empire, don't get me wrong. The online memes are funny. But don't get caught up, man. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up. It's a lot of money being made. It's a lot of money being made. And if you're thinking that, oh, I need money to get started, a lot of times you do not. Now, I know when I go into that note conference in California, I already know. Once I came across that information in September, that it was so eye-opening. I'm so ready now. I'm ready now to get started with investing. I already know who I'm looking to have to mentor me. I'm looking to connect with that person, and I'm ready to write the check, because I know what has been I know the not the importance, but the benefit. I know the benefit of making an investment in yourself, making an investment in relationships, making an investment in learning something new, and it paying off. So if one may ask, because right now we live during a time where there ain't no excuses. You sit right here on YouTube and you can find out anything. Me and my girlfriend was talking the other day. I don't know how we got a conversation of it, but we were talking about embalming dead bodies. and it, like I said, I'm not even gonna go into the story, but basically, her and I said, I bet you there's somebody on YouTube who you can find a video on how to embalm a body. And I said, you know what? It probably is on there, but I ain't going to look. So I say that to say, anything that you want to know is right here on YouTube. Free information. I get emails from Amazon, Audible, free books that you can access. People are always sharing free resources. But what's the difference now? There is so much free stuff that a lot of people, they just nix it off. And that's why, I'm not a big advocate. I feel like there are some things you should get for free, because sometimes free is an awakening. I wouldn't have never, and this is where the investment comes in. I would have never knew that how lucrative real estate notes buying could be, and how the barrier of entry is really not that high, meaning you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started. If I had not back in August, I went to a local real estate seminar in my right here in my state. The guy who spoke last, I stayed to the end. Most people had left. I never forget his seminar back in the summer in August 2018. And his session, a lot of people had left for the day, because if you ever been to the seminars or whatever, most of the time by the end of the day, people are not around. And so I stayed to his last session. And his session, it had nothing, it didn't even say about note buying. It had how to create wealth and something. So I said, you know what, I'm going to stay. Young cat, younger than me, probably young enough to be my son. And he tells his story of how he got into the note business or what have you. And while he was there, he, of course, did his upsell. And a lot of times, that's part of it. I get the sales and marketing of it. These speakers, they speak for free, and and their compensation is they get in front of the room and they sell whatever they're selling. I get it. I'm a marketer. I'm a business, entrepreneur. I get it. If it's a value, I'm going to give you my credit card. He says, "Oh, I have a conference coming up next month, and if you come, you get 50% off," something like that. I jumped on it. And it was a $300-something conference. He was doing a 50% off. Plus and plus if you did early, you got a bonus day. I took advantage of it. Even up to when the seminar happened that next month. Because like I said, I didn't even know if it was something I was interested in. But I said, hey, I like what he talked about. I would like to learn more. The date was approaching. Do I really want to go? I went. It's the best thing I could have did. Because I said, there's no excuses. It's right here in my state. It's local to me. It's no excuses. And that's the best thing. So I never understand. That's why when people say they don't want to pay, it almost makes me feel sorry for people, because there are people that I know who are winning financially, and they are looking for places to spend money. And so I just find it interesting that there are people who don't want to pay nothing, and they're thinking that they're going to embark on life-changing information. So that's why I say, so that's going to be the difference between those who look online for things for free. Like I said, free is not bad. Free is an awakening. But at a certain point, you got to get to the paid portion. And I know for me, everything I've paid for has paid off tremendously. Have paid off tremendously. And this is not no plug for you to buy anything I have. But if you are saying to yourself, well, how do I find this out? How do I find that out? I find it so strange that people want to find stuff out financially, and when you provide a resource to them, then they say, oh, I gotta pay for that? Yeah. Yes, you have to pay. Yes. Yes, you have to pay. Because if you don't pay, you're going to end up in the cycle of what many people have been in. Financial setbacks, trying to figure out how to win financially. If I knew now, if I knew back when I was in my younger years what I know now, how far I would be. Because the only difference between those who are winning financially and those who are not is really access to information. Access to relationships, resources, that's all that it boils down to. Relationships, resources, so much. So that's all I have to say. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. The resources below, of course, please like and share and comment. Leave me your thoughts. All my links will be below. Free book, the credit dispute software underneath this video, the credit to cash flow program, how to increase your cash flow, and sky's the limit. There's no excuses.